Do 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 do. Charge. Do you know where your children are?
Yes, I hope they're at home.
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
And I'm Lee Barris.
Where are y'all? How y'all doing? Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. You're live and local Real Talk, where we are now definitely awake and we're never going to be woke. No, never going. I can't be woke. I mean, I
Talk
look.
about being woke.
Uh-oh.
I think I was up most of the
Who
night
did it?
watching the hurricane come in.
I can't see the
Oh, it's
phone.
a private number. Have no clue.
Good morning. It's bright and early. You're early.
Good morning. It's bright and early.
How are
Hey,
you?
guys. Hey, good morning.
Haven't heard from you in a day or seven.
Well, I've had some interesting things happen in my life. I don't want to interrupt your program. Are you guys talking about the hurricane?
We just got on the air, so we're going to be there. What you got?
Well, I mean, I've got some funny stories to share with you about interviewing Conor McGregor. I was attacked at a hotel in Las Vegas and some other things. You want me to call back later?
No. I got you. You never can tell what's going to happen later.
Well, good morning, Charlie.
I was, what's that?
I said good morning.
Good morning. Do you guys remember my name?
Yes.
Yes, of course we do.
I call you Chucky, but she calls you Charlie.
Well, because I know a lot of Charlies that don't like to be called Chuck.
I didn't call him Chuck. I call him Chucky.
Yeah, well, that's even worse.
I'll call you whatever you want to be called. And then
Hey, guys, like I told you, I call into a lot of shows. I never disrespect you guys. I disrespect everybody. I go after them with a vengeance. It's like a python. Or like the most severe rattlesnake, a tarantula combined.
Oh.
Anyway, hey, so where are you guys located again?
Right here on the coast of North Carolina. The town is Jacksonville. It's near Camp Lejeune.
I think I asked you guys, are you guys like away from the past damage that happened last week?
Yeah, about 400 miles.
Yes, thank goodness.
So what's the latest on Florida? I don't have my TV on. Well, I've got it on, but it's not giving me an actual update. What's going on? Has it been downgraded? Is it a monster? Are lives being lost? What's going on?
Don't know about being lost. I'm sure once the sun's coming up here, they're going to find a lot. Here's what occurred during hurricanes. We've been through a bunch of them here. The winds reach 35 or 40 miles per hour. All first responders, that's fire trucks, police officers, power crews, everybody that come off the streets, they have to be taken in. And so they can't even get out and do any inspections until the winds are down again below 40 miles an hour. So they're out there now doing it. And of course, in the middle of the night with all the tornadoes, they had like 17 in one county.
Yes.
With all the tornadoes that occurred as well. There's so much damage, extensive damage. The good thing is a lot of millions of people left Florida and went north. So that's always a good thing. The storm itself right now, the eye of the storm has crossed into the Atlantic Ocean, downgraded to a category 1, sustained winds of about 85 miles per hour, and it's moving eastward. Will continue to downgrade, and within a day or so, it will be a tropical storm and then a depression.
So does that mean it's not going to be like one of the worst calamities, disasters in history in the USA in the last 50 years?
Oh no, this is probably going to go down as a record storm on the west coast of Florida. They don't get hit by the monster storms normally. Most of the monster storms are formed in the Atlantic and come on the Atlantic side. This one formed in the Gulf of Mexico, as did the one 2 weeks ago, Helene, and both of them were tremendous storms, pretty big storms. But when it made landfall along the Tampa Bay area, I don't know exactly. It was a multiple landfall, by the way, because it came in at a glancing blow somewhere around the Sarasota area and moving up towards Tampa, which is about 50 miles apart. And it hit hard. It hit them really hard. We don't know how hard because it was dark.
I'm not from Florida. But is a causeway a type of bridge or a freeway system that goes across the ocean or water that connects one land to the other land? Is it called a causeway?
Some of them are called causeways. Yes, it's kind of like it can be a land, or it can be which they will build up and call it a causeway, or it can be an actual bridge. Over St. Pete area, they've got a big bridge there. I think some people call it the causeway there as well, but it's basically a bridge. Sunshine Park.
Yeah, I saw something on the news. I think it was yesterday, and there were literally hundreds, if not thousands, of cars at night, and it was just lit up with front headlights.
Yep.
Trying to desperately get out of there. And I'm thinking to myself, what if this hurricane comes through that causeway and all of these cars are just, caught up in that commotion, and it just rips that bridge apart or that causeway apart? All those cars are just going to be, they're going to drown in the water, yes?
Yep.
So are they still allowing cars to cross that causeway? Are they halted? The police said, listen, nope, you're going to have to suffer here and die because you're going to die out there. So do you guys know the status on that?
I do not. I don't know what the orders were given there. Sorry.
So listen, I'm not sure how much detail I want to give. All of us have interesting lives.
Mm-hmm.
I have an interesting life.
I just want to hear about you getting beaten up. That's what I want to hear about.
I got knocked out.
God. Were you in a ring, or were you doing this for fun or for money?
It's funny you would say that. I actually interviewed Conor McGregor today. I have him on tape. I'm in Las Vegas at a sort of like a convention, and I'm walking through this convention. This is for business related. It's not my job per se. I'm in the comedy arena, but regardless. Anyway, so I have Conor on tape. I turned on my phone to record, and I literally asked him, "Are you going to run for president of Ireland?" I've got this on tape with lots of people around him. But he started answering my questions. Wow. I've got the recording. I'm not going to maybe someday. Obviously, you're going to say, Charlie's nuts. Who would make this up? So I literally asked him. He's walking down this corridor with surrounding all these people around him. It's in Las Vegas. It's a convention, and he's promoting his brand.
Sure.
And I just happened to be there. And I said, "Hey, Conor, are you going to run for president of Ireland?" And he talked about, yes, he's going to do that. And I kept on interviewing him while walking backwards. Anyway, I'm going to leave that where it's at. So in Las Vegas last night, there's a hotel that's been around for, I don't know if it's from the 60s, the 50s, or the 70s, called the Tropicana.
I know it. Yes. Yep.
So Sinatra
there a lot.
Who?
Sinatra.
Okay. So they imploded it last night. Are you aware of that?
No, it did not.
Yeah, so they took it down. They blew it up and it came down.
Wow.
So I was with a friend of mine that I'm with in Las Vegas. and he used to stay at the Mirage Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how he used to visit the Mirage Hotel with his father, and they're going to implode the Mirage. They're going to bring that down as well.
Yeah.
And he was very nostalgic, and he asked me if I wanted to go visit the Mirage, and I said, "No, I don't want to go visit. I have no memories with it." But so I went back to my hotel where I'm at right now in Las Vegas, where I'm staying, and then it got me thinking. You know what? I want to go see the Circus Circus. Are you aware of the Circus Circus in Las Vegas?
I've been there. Yes.
Okay, so the Circus Circus is a massive, massive, massive hotel, and it's just off the Strip. But it literally is a piece of bowel movement.
Yep.
It's the most okay. So I'm looking. I'm in my room right now. I'll tell you guys where I am. I'm in the Hilton Hotel. I'm looking out of my room right now, and I'm looking at the Circus Circus. There's two buildings. It says Circus 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 Circus. It's maybe, I don't know, 20 floors high, but it looks like crap. So I wanted to go through the Circus Circus, and I wanted to document this building and just have, like, in my phone vault, maybe 10, 20 years from now, memories. And just I wanted to do like a documentary. So I walk over to the Circus Circus, and I'm doing my little voice. I'm like, this is a Circus Circus. I gave the date and the time, and I'm going through the Circus Circus. It's basically, it's like if homeless people enjoyed gambling. It's just a complete rat's roach nest. But then I come across the gift shop in the Circus Circus. It's one of the most beautiful gift shops you'll ever see.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
It's beautiful. And so I started talking to the woman that runs the gift shop, and we had a great conversation. She's a great Hispanic woman, or maybe she's El Salvadorian. And I'm talking to her, and I'm like, you've got this beautiful gift shop, but once you walk outside the door, it's just crap. It's toilet paper. And she understood what I was saying. I'm taking pictures. I'm taking videos. I just wanted to document everything. Maybe 5 minutes later, I hear her screaming.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then I see this gentleman, I guess you would call him a gentleman, walk out of the store with all these goods from the store.
He was stealing stuff.
Whoa.
But I heard her screaming, and I got her on video too. Just a beautiful woman, and a friend of mine who's, and I couldn't put two and two together because I'm just trying to record everything.
Mm-hmm.
He's stealing stuff, I guess, but I heard her screaming, and I'm like, hey, are you stealing stuff? You got to put that down.
That's when you got hit.
So here's what happened. Here's what happened. I said, you need to put that down. I'm acting like I've got another story that's even more bizarre. Like a few days earlier, where I confronted another shoplifter at another store, and I said, you need to put that down. Before I knew it, he cold cocked me.
Whoa.
I went to the ground, and
What?
I blacked out for maybe a second. And in my life, I'm a big guy.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys saw me, you would say, no one's going to take me. I literally went to the ground. I went face down to the ground.
Wow.
And then I got up, and my brain, I don't know if you've ever been knocked out or hit.
Yes.
No.
Okay, so as a woman, you don't want that. So then my brain went into like 1,000 miles per hour. It's like I wanted to literally violently destroy this human being's life.
Oh.
And I started going after him, but for some reason, security just showed up. They detained me to keep me back.
Probably a
And
good
my
thing.
brain I was in shock.
Mm.
Because when you're knocked out, you don't know what's going on. So they detained him. They took him to a room, and they were very nice to me. And they took me back to that same room. I saw him in that room.
Wow.
Wow.
They had him on a bench. He was handcuffed. I saw him on that bench. I had a billion mountains of anger and rage inside of me. And I flew at this guy.
Oh, did you?
They had to, 3 or 4 people had to restrain me from going after this guy. You couldn't control me. This fucker, wait, hold on. You guys, okay, this individual, violently hit me. I couldn't control my rage. I was going after. I was not going to stop until I went after this guy.
Mm-hmm.
3 or 4 people held me back. This guy smiled at me.
Oh boy.
My rage was so intense because I was just trying to protect this woman that I really liked. We just had a great conversation. I interviewed her because I wanted to do like a documentary. So they had to separate us. And long story short, which is very long, I know I'm telling a very long story. Maybe it's boring to your audience. They put me in a room next to him. I said, you guys, you got to get me away from this guy. My brain's not in the right place. I want to go after this guy. So they took me to another room, and I sat there for 2 hours waiting for the police to show up. The police never showed up.
Well,
I said,
it's a minor offense to them in Las Vegas.
Right. It is.
They'll get around sooner or later.
My face is cut up. It's bloody. I've got bumps on my head. The sad part about it is, earlier I had interviewed Conor McGregor, one of the most badass fighters on the planet, and he exchanged in a conversation with me. 4 hours later, I get knocked out of the.
You should have had him come along with you, maybe to be your bodyguard or something.
Well, no, we had a brief conversation because I had ran into Conor McGregor. Listen, I'm not sure if you follow boxing. Conor McGregor fought a guy named Dustin Porter, or Portier. Does that name ring a bell?
No, I haven't followed boxing since I was a kid.
It doesn't matter. The guy that Conor was there. The longest story short, I sat there for an hour and a half waiting for the police to show up. They never showed up. And I just said, guys, listen, I'm out of it. I'm bleeding. I've got bumps in my head. I'm just going to go back to my hotel.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the point of the story is nothing is going to happen. You can be violently attacked.
Correct.
Anything can happen to you. You're screwed. I was trying to defend this woman. Like, I'm looking at your co-host right now. If somebody violently attacked her, if I got involved, nothing is going to happen. That's the world we live in right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my point. So I'm not sure if this makes sense to you guys, my story, or...
Yeah, well, some of the places, you go to a place like New York, you go to a place like Las Vegas, Miami, the bigger the city, the less important to the local police are individuals who are suffering from what they will determine are minor crimes. What's a major thing to you? Of course, anything that occurs. What's a major thing to me is you being stupid, and then I have to get involved because, my time with 18 years as a law enforcement officer, I'm going to be involved, and so far I've come out on the top end every time. But that's the way that is. So, unfortunately, I will be like you. If I see somebody today, and I'm really old today, and I'm not a cop anymore, don't have any of the protection that I had then. But if I see somebody stealing something, and just like you did, I'd be involved. I'd be involved all over it. But I'd be prepared to be involved.
Last story, you're going to get a kick out of this. I'll wrap it up in 30 seconds. Okay. So on my way to Las Vegas, I stopped at have you guys ever heard the world's largest thermometer?
No, I think I remember a couple of them when the doctor gave them to me years ago.
Okay, so right on the California-Nevada border, there's the world's largest thermometer. It tells you the temperature. It's probably hot. 60, 70 feet high. I stopped at the world's largest thermometer, and I took pictures, and I sent it to a friend of mine. I'm like, it's kind of catchy, whatever. And I went into the store, and I started talking to the girl that works there. While I'm talking to her, I see this guy walk into the store and steal 5 drinks. And he walks out, and I told the girl, I'm like, did that guy just steal 5 drinks from you? She walked over and he goes, yeah, he stole it. So what did I do?
You didn't go after him.
I walked out of the store and I confronted the guy.
Oh goodness!
I literally confronted him. This is a great story. I confronted the guy and I said, "Sir, you can't steal." I don't even know these people. I said, "Sir, you can't steal from the store. You have to pay for it." I said, "I work here. You're going to pay for this, or you're going to give me the product back." This is where it's going to blow your mind away. The guy that I thought stole, he walked back into the store. I followed him, and the girl goes, Oh, no. He owns the store.
Oh,
You
Whoops.
can't beat
gosh.
that. And the owner was very appreciative of me. He goes, I appreciate what you did. Dude, I've got 5 more stories to tell you on my trip. I'm not going to tell you now. I'll
Okay.
come back another time. But anyway, you guys have a great
John,
show.
you
I
too.
like your show.
Thank you,
And,
Charlie.
You guys have a good day.
Charlie,
You
thank you.
too.
Be safe out there.
Well, you know what? I think if you ever tell anyone to be safe, it's got to be me because God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm going to get involved in some sort of ridiculous crap that I shouldn't get involved with, and I'm going to get stabbed in the neck. But maybe it's worth it.
I hope not.
Lee, what shirt am I wearing? Just ironically, coincidentally, I mean,
All right.
totally
Here,
coincidentally.
straighten it out. It says SHOT Show. Daniel Defense SHOT Show.
Okay, I happened to put a T-shirt on this morning because I get T-shirts
That was
everywhere
a
I
Harley
go.
Davidson when I walked in.
No, this is a T-shirt from the SHOT Show.
Right.
When I was in Las Vegas, they have a big gun show every year for manufacturers and distributors. There at the big Coliseum, they had 3 floors of nothing but guns, and I was there doing some stuff a few years back. About I don't know, 2017, I think it was. So anyway, I happened to be wearing that T-shirt. Yes, I was in Las Vegas at that time, and yes, somebody broke into the car while I was there. They broke the glass on a rental car, stole a bag. They thought it had stuff in it. It was an empty bag. Duh. But anyway, welcome to Las Vegas. Now go home.
Oh, by the way, my car was broken into recently. I've got like 6 more stories. By the way, you guys are going to kick if you ever find out who I am and how I just go after everybody online. There are Reddit organizations, they hate me, but I treat you guys with respect.
Well, we
I don't know
appreciate
why-
that. We
Well,
appreciate
anyway,
it.
You guys have a good day, and I'll call in maybe another time. Listen, I'll call in another time if I'm still alive.
Yeah. Well, if you die, just give us a call before you take your last breath, okay?
Yeah, try to be safe.
Have a good day, guys.
All right,
Thank you,
bye-bye.
Charlie. Oh, he's a hoot. I like him.
Oh yeah, he's very interesting and always has some crazy stories.
Oh, he's got a ton of crazy
I don't
stories.
know. I'm guessing
I don't
now.
know what he gets into, but
The more he talks, I wonder if he's a sports writer.
I don't know what he is, but anyway,
Each time he calls, he gives a little bit of hint.
yeah. Well,
I'm gonna figure him out.
yeah. Well,
I'm gonna find you on X, Charlie.
Charlie, if you're listening, I won't find you on X because I don't do X. The Marine Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. You've no doubt seen the colorful, the well-lit stores featuring vaping products around Jacksonville, right, pretty much everywhere you go
Every
these days.
corner.
Maybe you aren't aware, but did you know that North Carolina is number 2 in the nation for teenage vape usage? Parents and caregivers, y'all listen up. If you want to learn more about vaping, the inherent dangers for teenagers in vaping, and how to help keep teens from partaking, there's some help out there. Contact Community Prevention Services right here in Jacksonville at 910-353-0972. It's located on Henderson Drive, 918 Henderson Drive. They're locally owned, locally operated. You don't have to go all over North Carolina to get some help with this. Perhaps you want to learn what all of the hype is all about. Okay? Is vaping actually dangerous? That's a question that a lot of people ask. Is it worse than cigarettes? Another question they ask. Is it something that's maybe a cross between cigarettes and doing nothing? Some people think so. Is it just a sneaky way for some people to smoke weed? Is your team telling you that there's nothing wrong with it, that it's safer than smoking, that the product is nothing more than just some steam? Then why are they using it? If they want steam, go hold your head over a teapot and suck it in.
That's a good way to get a facial.
Yeah, that too. If you don't know any better, it's time to get educated. Community Prevention Services offers free information on all substance misuse prevention issues for youth and adults. Give them a call today, 910-353-0972. Community Prevention Services located 918 Henderson Drive here in Jacksonville. Offshore today, small craft advisories in effect through late Friday night. Northeasterly winds today, 20 to 25 knots, gust to 30. Seas 5 to 7 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. Sounds and rivers rough. There will be rip currents. The storm that has crossed over the state of Florida now in the Atlantic Ocean, somewhere in the Daytona Beach area, they've got small tropical storm warnings all the way up into South Carolina. The ocean is rough. A rough ocean creates rip currents.
That's right.
We've got rip currents. The ocean may look okay. Forget about it. Don't get in it. It's dangerous. It's deadly. And there are no lifeguards on duty anywhere in North Carolina. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 15 to 20 knots, gusts up to 30. Seas 5 to 7 feet, 2 to 4 near shore. And rivers choppy. Saturday, northwesterly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 4, sounds and rivers a light chop.
Okay, and today it's cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing with a high near 70. Northeast wind 5 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 50. Friday, sunny with a high near 72. Friday night, just in time for football,
Go
clear.
Cards.
Get this, clear with a low around 46.
Yeah, but it
And
won't get quite that low before the game's
Saturday,
over.
sunny with a high near 76.
But it'll also keep those football players from sweating, and they won't have to drink as much Gatorade.
Really
Right?
keep us from sweating for sure.
Carry a blanket.
Well, we may have to.
Yeah, I don't know how soon it'll get down, but as soon as the sun sets, the temperatures will start dropping. Sunset will be
Okay.
about kickoff time.
And did you notice that the sun is setting earlier and earlier now?
Guess what?
It's
It
that
happens
time.
every year about that time.
No, it does. I was going to see if Friday shows a hourly. It's probably too early for that.
Yeah,
Yep, it is. I have to
early.
wait till tomorrow.
All right, it is political time.
Hello,
Oh,
Onslow County. This is your Senator, Michael Lazaro. As election season approaches, I want to take a moment to reflect on the progress we've made together and share my vision for the future. I fought for better schools, secured funding for infrastructure, and ensured our veterans get the support they deserve. We've strengthened our local economy, creating jobs and opportunities for our families. But there's more work to be done, like making healthcare for our veterans more affordable and protecting our beautiful coastline. I believe in a transparent government that listens to your concerns. I've held town halls, heard your voices, and will keep fighting for what matters most to you. This November, I'm asking for your support to keep Onslow County moving forward. Together, we can build a brighter future for our children and families. Thank you for your trust and support.
Paid for by the committee to re-elect Mike Lazara. Okay, we're back, and we got a lot here to continue discussing. Obviously,
when you
the
said
elephant-
politics, I was like, what
Yeah,
now?
well, we're going to get into some politics.
Okay.
There are things that are happening out there. Some people don't like them. Some people loathe them. I don't know. Whatever. All eyes remain on Florida, of course, this morning. Hurricane Milton moving eastward into the Atlantic. After making landfall along the state's west coast last night, then crossing the entire state from west to east, the total devastation is beginning to be revealed as daylight arrives. The thing about the west coast of Florida is about 15 minutes later, the sun coming up there than it is the east side of Florida. In addition to the actual storm surge, Category 3 hurricane winds, wind-driven rain, scores of tornadoes across much of Florida has caused extensive damage from the Gulf to the Atlantic. Governor Ron DeSantis activated 10,000 National Guardsmen in advance of the storm.
There you go.
They were pre-positioned, hundreds of special tactical vehicles, high water rescue vehicles, all ready to assist in ground and air searches today. All along the storm's path, police and other first responders, as we discussed a little while ago, were not able to respond to emergency calls after the winds reached 40 miles per hour. They're required to go to ground to safety. They're back on the streets this morning, much across the state, much of it because Milton has moved to the east. The closer to the east coast you get, the more those units will still be landlocked. They can't get out, not for a while. Reports of buildings that have collapsed, neighborhoods destroyed by tornadoes coming in at first light. We had one of the domes,
Just
the
Tropicana
Tropicana.
lost its roof.
Wow. This was a serious, and the damages are untold. We have no idea what they're going to look like. I can imagine. That's all I can do is imagine, having been through things like that.
Yes.
Not in something that's hit me at 125 miles an hour. But that's what she came ashore as. He came ashore as. Florida officials preparing for the return of the tens of thousands who left their homes this week ahead of Hurricane Milton. That in itself is going to cause enough traffic jams. Good gracious, as law enforcement works to safeguard property from the ever-present vultures that some of you politely refer to as looters. I don't know what their orders are going to be, but I've seen orders in the past in some areas where it was really bad shoot on sight.
It's never good. It's never good. I mean, why? They even had reports of looters up in the mountains. Haven't those people been throwing nuts?
You know what?
They're advising people to exercise your Second Amendment rights.
Well, you can't shoot them. They haven't committed any crimes.
Use it to protect yourself.
Yeah, if they come towards you now, that's between you and your conscience. But it's an awful situation. It's
Terrible.
I'm just reading some of the stories. Last night, of course, the ham radio networks, they have a hurricane watch network, and then I was listening to that for quite a while. They only talk to stations that are in the area, but I was listening to some of the guys there, and when that storm was making landfall near the Sarasota area, I had one of the stations there. He still had power.
Wow.
He was inland on the beach itself.
Excellent.
And so he had power there. I don't know how much longer, but he was talking, and it was winds were at his place. He had a lot of hams are kind of like we are here too, but they have wind anemometers and other wind and weather type of measuring equipment, and they ham radio network. They were taking reports from all over the area there in the affected area, and the winds were gusting. I was getting firsthand reports from all of these folks. They had their own weather stations.
It's pretty cool.
I'm listening to all of that, and I'm thinking, God, that could be us here at any time. And the damage that they were reporting, and then trying to watch it on TV, and you find, and I've been on that end as well. You had to pull people in from storms because when they get to a certain point, back in those days, we had to use microwave vans and not just internet stuff. And microwave vans had these tall masts that shoot up 40, 50 feet up, and 35 mile per hour wind can topple that thing. And then you got a big problem. And you don't want the van toppling over. You don't want the mast breaking off. There are things you just got to be careful of. So we always went to ground, always forced the guys to go in to seek shelter.
Right.
And we had certain locations that the guys could go. But up until that point, the winds blowing, the howling, we didn't stand out there looking for a place to get the hair blown and find some palm tree or whatever.
There goes a tree limb.
Yeah, I'm the smartest anchor that I ever had.
Right.
He used to work for NBC News as a correspondent, and I hired him away from NBC. He was tired of having to go everywhere that NBC sent him on a moment's notice.
I can imagine.
He liked Wilmington. He had been here to cover hurricanes for the network, to Wilmington several times. So he said, name was Jim Hanchett. He said, if you're ever in the need of an anchor or something like that, I would be willing. As soon as I called him.
Good.
And he said, I'll be there. He said, you're going to have to get me out of my contract. So I called the NBC bureau guy, the guy in charge, and I knew him. So we negotiated him out of his contract.
Very
and
good.
I said, here's what I'll do. I'll give you for 1 year, the first year that he's here. I talked with Jim about it in advance. I said, I will give you him to go to any location along the East Coast that there is a hurricane for him to be there. but I get first dibs of the satellite uplink from him during the 6 o'clock and the 11 o'clock news each day. Deal. That's
Very
the way
good.
we did it on the phone.
Very
And
good.
that's what he did. He made, I think, 3 trips during the first year, but it was nothing overly critical. But I got, and they paid for it.
Right.
They paid for the satellite time, which was expensive, but I got the first reports. I got it all. So I made out in that end. And but Jim told me, he says, you know what? All these guys, these young people, they go out there and they get their hair blown and they stand in the water and they do this and they do that. I go find me a spot.
ridiculous.
I go find me a spot between 2 buildings where you can see all the wind and things out there, but I'm protected.
Right.
And
Exactly.
then my photographer will light me up to balance the light in the background. I says, finally, somebody with some sense. And that's the way he did it.
Hmm.
So, you don't have to
Interesting.
stand out there. And it comes to mind that one reporter paddling around in a canoe with a photographer, paddling around talking about how deep the water was.
And somebody walking behind him.
And somebody walks up in front of the camera on right
Yeah.
beside them
Yes.
with these little Sneaks Ferry type sneakers on,
Yes.
those
Sneeze Ferry
the
sneakers.
short boots,
Yes.
and they weren't even covered. The water was probably 8 inches deep.
Well, it's like I told you, I saw a local news person out on scene. It was still dark, and she said, "Yeah, I'm standing in about 10 inches of water," and she's holding a measuring tape in her hand.
Why?
She goes, "I don't know if it's 10 inches. It may be 10 feet. I'll have to remeasure it again." I'm like, "Surely you're kidding." Like, what? It's some of these you see. I mean, locally,
They
nationally,
carry props.
whatever.
They carry props with them. They're told to tell the story.
I have actually seen a small limb. I wouldn't even call it a limb. It laying on the ground, and they're pointing at it, saying, "We have debris." And
Yeah.
I'm like, I get that every week in the yard, you know,
Yeah.
falls off the dead tree.
Yeah,
But
pretty much.
yes,
I got plenty of them back here.
yes,
I use it. I call it kindling. I have
yes.
to pick it up and use it.
I'm just
in the
like,
wintertime.
it's just amazing. I don't think I can
Not to
stand-
put the anything to show it and to make a big deal out of it when
Right.
when you can't cover it, when it's
Right.
you can't see
cover
anything.
it, then just don't.
Then just talk about what you see, what you feel.
Right. Right.
Just talk about it. You're a reporter. That's what you do.
Well, I will give props to the men and women that I watched last night on the Weather Channel.
Mhm.
They were, they were good. And I did watch my favorite storm chaser, and he's crazy. They're standing out
Oh, okay.
on the beach as the eye wall is approaching. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you nuts?
Yeah. We had one in
Crazy.
he was near Wilmington, Leland. I'm trying to remember his last name, but anyway, we were kind of a sponsor of his. He got a vehicle, and we put our call signs on it and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And we picked up bought him some equipment, and he would go all over anywhere there was a storm.
Yeah.
Hurricanes, he went everywhere. His last storm is when the eye wall came over, and it took his vehicle. He
Uh-oh.
wasn't in the vehicle.
Thank
He
goodness.
came home, and his eyes were still wide open.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Enough was enough.
Well, this storm chaser I watched, I mean, he's crazy anyway, but then he got back into his vehicle with his other buddies there, and they were sitting there as the storm surge started coming in.
Mhm.
And it got to the point he almost got trapped, but he was able to get out.
Mm.
And this morning on the Weather Channel I was listening, they said they're still expecting catastrophic flooding, flash
Oh, yeah, I'm
flooding
sure.
in some of those areas. So it's not over with yet.
Yeah, the good thing about what they have got to experience, the water will recede fairly quickly.
Yes. Yes.
Because they've got 2 coasts, they got 2 big bodies of water,
Right.
the Atlantic and the Gulf,
You know,
to
what
dump
was
the water in.
interesting in Orlando, where they have all those lakes, they actually drain the lakes before the storm hit.
So they can fill up again.
Yeah, so that way they
They don't
wouldn't
overflow.
flood. But that was fascinating. They
You ever
said,
thought about how do you drain a lake?
I don't know, but they have a system
They
set
got
up.
a bathtub plug in the bottom or something?
I don't know, but I found it so interesting. So I was trying to look it up and find out more about it. I mean, they must have some type of drain pipes that run out to the ocean. I don't know. It was
Yeah.
just crazy.
I
But they
know,
actually drained them.
I know folks around here, these parts, and of course, Florida's got about 40 million times more Swimming pools,
Yes.
recreational swimming pools. Those things overflow. Oh my goodness
We used
gracious.
to always lower the water in
Yeah,
ours.
yeah.
And then if you have an above ground, you can always put like beach balls or something in it and then put your cover over it. And that way the water will run off the cover. And you don't have to
Didn't have
drain it.
an above ground.
Yes.
But
But the in ground, no, we had to lower the water.
yeah.
We definitely had to do that. So anyway, we're going to be having Chris Miller call us at 7:45. So
Okay. All right.
give us an update on high school sports for the
We'll
weekend.
chat with Chris, and at about 8:00, I'm going to reach out to my cousin. He's down there somewhere hiding in
Right.
Florida.
Bless
He
him.
managed to get away from Tampa.
Yeah.
So,
Drew, if you're listening,
and Drew will be giving us a call. Hopefully, Drew will call in sometime after 8:00.
yeah, we also have Salem in at 8:00 too. So
So we'll call. I'll call my cousin
yeah,
right after we get through with Chris here in just a couple of minutes. I've shied away from a whole lot of political meanderings.
BS is what
Yeah, I
you
was going
want
to
to
say something like that.
BS.
As generally, for the most part, this week during the tragic disasters over the past couple of weeks, with few exceptions, we devoted most of our time and effort into getting the word out about how people can help with the relief effort in the western part of North Carolina,
Yes.
as well as some of the impacted regions, the zones in adjoining states. South Carolina had some, Georgia had some, of course, northern Florida had it too, but not as bad. North Carolina and Tennessee got hit
Tennessee,
pretty hard.
yes.
North Carolina got hit really hard.
Right.
And it's still there. And I know we've had a couple of loads went up yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Of supplies collected down at the Onslow County Sheriff's Office. Has a retired deputy and a couple of others driving big vehicles up there with all sorts of good stuff. And I haven't heard from them yet. I understand last night that somebody was in touch with one of them. They
I
may
think
have
the
had a-
sheriff went too, didn't he?
I don't know.
Didn't he ride
I don't
with
know
him?
whether the sheriff himself went or not. So, with all of the issues created by Milton,
You're good.
the outcome of the upcoming presidential election is on the minds of Democrats and Republicans, with early voting going to be severely challenging in at least two states. Who is this going to hurt, if anybody? In North Carolina, two counties where Democrats had a stronghold, the Democrats hoping to turn the entire Tar Heel state blue, they're kind of worried, with criticism mounting about what some think has been a weak response at both the state and federal levels. Will this have an impact on how the voters vote, those who get to the polls? One issue that is troubling, as we are now 4 weeks exactly away from what many are claiming will be the most important election in recent history. What a mess. What a mess. A disturbing scenario is making the rounds that I would really like for one of the candidates for president to address. I have other issues for both candidates as well, but this one, it seems, if true, to be really way out there. The U.S. Constitution requires that the government provide needed medical care for prisoners, according to a 1976 Supreme Court ruling.
You're gonna go there.
Transgender inmates in federal and state prisons have argued in court that this includes providing medically necessary gender-affirming care. Figure out what that means. Trying to find out what medically necessary gender-affirming care is ain't so easy. On the surface, I interpret that wording as nothing to do with what the Supreme Court called needed medical care for prisoners. To that, I will ask you, and you, and you, and you, what's your opinion? Some federal and state prisoners have actually received gender-affirming surgeries following legal victories. Why? What was the reason? 2 federal prisoners in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons have had the surgeries performed, and guess who paid for it? Go find your bathroom mirror, you'll know. There are also government policies supporting necessary gender-affirming care for immigrant detainees. What? Including hormone therapy. Those looking for details and confirmation were unable to find any policy specifically recommending gender-affirming surgery for any records of such surgeries having occurred. In other words, unless it's being kept hush-hush, it ain't so. When she was running to be the Democrat presidential nominee back in 2019, Kamala Harris went on record in the American Civil Liberties Union candidate questionnaire as supporting medically necessary gender-affirming care for federal prisoners and immigrant detainees, including surgical care. She also expressed support for gender-affirming surgery for California state inmates on other occasions during her 2019 presidential run, taking some credit for working behind the scenes to get access to these surgeries for prisoners. If that's the case, why has Harris ducked and dodged question after question after question when reporters opposed them?
Yeah.
Harris has not clarified her exact on gender-affirming care for prisoners and detainees during her current campaign, and Trump and his campaign have sometimes left out information on when and if in what context Harris spoke about these topics. They say that she talked about them. When? Where? I want to see the proof. See, that's the problem. When someone like the opposition, in this case, Donald Trump's campaign, makes a statement and when asked to furnish details, conveniently says something along the lines, go look it up. You can find it online. No. You made the statement. You provide the proof. The chances are I can find some sort of reference to that somewhere online from a source that may or may not be reputable. Of course, if you consider a report from the Republican National Committee reliable without any supporting evidence, you might have a story without basis to run with. I don't do that. On the other foot, the left one, of course, if a candidate has been accused of having taken such a stand in 2019, but won't answer questions about the allegations, what are for dumb American voters to think?
Well, her communications director said that questionnaire, that is not what she's proposing, is not what she's running on. So
What
in other
did she
words,
say then?
nothing.
See, no, I'm talking about back then. Did she actually say? That's what I want to know. Did she say it? Because if she said it then, but now she says she isn't supporting it, what will she do once she's elected? The wishy-washy, flip-flopping status of this candidate causes me concern.
I don't know that she said it out loud, like in an interview. She filled out a questionnaire. It
Same
went
thing.
on record in American Civil Liberties Union
I haven't seen it.
questionnaire as supporting it.
Okay. To me, as a not guilty party here, I would deny it emphatically, then challenge the reporters, the person or persons or political party or whoever who made the allegations to join me on the stage for an impromptu prosecutorial examination. Yep. The truth with facts is stronger than all of the allegations that are ever made. Somebody would have to put up or shut up for a physical battle of fists. That's why I would have problems as a political candidate.
Right.
Those in charge of handling me would spend most of their time in the bar drowning their troubles and their troubles with me.
Hold all those thoughts, because I know I've got something else I want to add to that.
After Miller time?
After Miller time, I don't want to take his time.
It's Miller time. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Rayford, I've enjoyed your little rant a little bit about everything that's been going on, and I agree 100%. And it's I think it all goes back to I'm going to give local journalism a little bit of a shameless plug, because it goes back to local newspapers, the TV stations, and what you guys do in the morning show, and provide the correct information to the local citizens. I just think local journalism is still alive and well, and it serves the communities well. And I think we're a little bit, you guys, us at the newspapers, and some folks at the TV stations really try to do a great job of serving the communities well and providing the information, not telling people what to think or how they need to do this or that, but giving everybody all the sides of the issues. And I think that's missing a lot in the national. I think these national TV stations, national news, try to provide affirmation instead of information, and that's just a shame. I just wish they'd all go back to doing their job and let the people decide for themselves.
Yeah, they're falling short at the national level. That's for sure. It has been going that way since the demise of Walter Cronkite, Huntley, and Brinkley. It's been going downhill ever since.
Oh yeah, and that's with you knew where some of those guys, Ted Koppel, some of those, Meet the Press. You knew personally where a lot of those guys stood, but they were always pretty fair for the most part. For the left to the right, again, you knew where they stood personally, but you never really saw that in their work, and that's we're all entitled to our opinion and our beliefs, but if you do your job the right way, then you're going to make everybody mad.
There you go. That's what I've tried to do. As long as I got both sides, and that's what I used to say in television when I would send reporters out to do stories, and they would do a story, and I'd get a call from the Democrat committee or the Republican committee, or the one candidate who's a Republican and one candidate who's a Democrat, and they're both saying that I favor the other person.
Well, we do.
I have done my job.
We do. We might do that occasionally.
Yeah, we get blasted. As long as I get blasted from both sides, I'm good to go.
Yeah, maybe a lot.
And I think like I said, I think a lot of us, y'all are, even though y'all are a morning talk show, it's not necessarily considered media. Y'all do a great job of serving the community and giving the local candidates an opportunity to voice, and the local citizens an opportunity to voice.
Now,
So,
I'm going to give a local citizen who's a journalist an opportunity to voice an opinion. Who's going to win tomorrow night? Cardinals? Did you notice how I phrased that question? Who's going to win tomorrow night? The Cardinals?
Couldn't get in there. I've got to take out a subscription to the Daily News because I'm missing too much.
Well, I would appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to contribute to the Help Chris Miller Keep His Job Foundation, I would really appreciate it.
For you, I would do it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. No, we have the Jacksonville Cardinals do have a big game Friday night against the Havelock Rams. It's always a big collision whenever the two teams clash. And Jacksonville's 5-0. Havelock is 5-1. And they lost their game in New Bern, and Jacksonville beat New Bern. We've seen in we've seen in years past that that doesn't matter.
Nope.
You can throw the records out the window, and whoever has the ball last in this game will probably win. And but I think I'm going to go against the Cardinals. I think I'm picking the Rams
I'm
by a
scared.
touchdown.
What kind of car are you driving tomorrow night?
I don't know. He did that last week, and Jacksonville won. So
Yeah, well, against New Bern, yep, I picked them in. I do my predictions every week, and the coaches really get a kick out of it. The players really do, and they'll say a few things, clean things, and it's all in fun. It's all in, hey, Mr. Chris, I saw you picked it. Well, okay, we're going to show you. All right, go on. And but like I said, it's nobody takes it personal, and it's all in fun. And the coaches do use it. Hey, Chris Miller just picked us to lose. Let's go show him wrong. And and I tell coaches all the time, look, coaches, if you want to use me picking you to lose to motivate the kids, hey, more power to you. Like I said, it's all in fun. Nobody takes it personal, and we have a good time with it. And that's at the end of the day, that's what it's all about is promoting these kids and maybe firing them up a little bit and lighting that fire a little bit and pump them up and having a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna fire them up then. Okay, team, we're gonna be out there tomorrow night cheering. And I think I'm gonna bring my 100-watt PA system.
Chris, wear
Hide
long
below the
pants
stands.
tomorrow night. Rafer's going to wear his. It's going to get cold.
Yeah. Well, y'all were talking about the weather and how it's going to help prevent the sweating and uncomfortable with the not getting too warm and everything. I'm more relieved the fact that it's cooling down. We don't have to worry about those dang bugs on the sideline.
Oh, yeah.
There's that too. Yeah.
Yeah. You go to certain places, Croatan High School, Swansboro High School, and great schools, but they're just close to the water. And when the bugs get bad over there, East Carteret over at Beaufort can get pretty bad. Morehead City, when I went there last week, was they were some monster bugs. So now that it's cooling down, maybe we'll have some bug-free sidelines because when they get bad.
If you quit wearing that sweet-smelling cologne, you'd be okay.
I'm over there on the sideline sweating with the other guys.
Well, it's that sub he has in his
Football players,
pocket.
and, especially when you got a big camera on your shoulder. I mean, that's you can get a pretty good workout working on the sidelines. So But I'm probably going to miss you guys on Friday because I'm.
What?
And Rayford, you know this as well as anybody. You have to pull your resources together, and you try to you try not to duplicate efforts in the. You try not to have 2 or 3 people from the same company covering the same event. So I actually have one of my freelance photographers. Excuse me, he's going to be taking photos of the Jacksonville Havelock game tomorrow, and then the guy who covers the Havelock Rams, who's part of my company, is going to be coming down and covering that game for me. Like I said, you try not to duplicate efforts, and you try not to finances the way they are. You try to utilize your freelance budget as best you can. So that's going to free me up to go to the Croatan at Richlands game on Friday night. So you try to you try to knock down 2 birds with 1 stone, if that makes sense.
I know why he's going and not going to be there, because he's made a prediction the Cardinals are going to lose, and he's afraid of those Cardinals.
You might get picked.
The fallout. Yeah, the fallout.
So is Richlands home or are they at Croatan?
They're at home. Richlands
Okay.
is at home.
I just want to make sure because I made a list of all the games for tomorrow night.
Okay, sound like a winner.
Yeah, so they're at home, and again, y'all know that y'all try to utilize your resources, and
You got to
try
do it.
to
Yeah.
you just gotta you gotta spread the wealth a little bit and serve all communities as best you can. So it'll work out great. I hate that I'm not gonna be able to go to there, but definitely looking forward to being at Richlands and seeing those fine folks as well.
You will be there for the homecoming on the 1st, right?
On November 1st, let's see, it depends. Is Jacksonville's homecoming on the 1st?
Uh-huh.
Oh, they will host. I probably will be there. They're hosting
North side.
the North side. So,
Yep.
so unless something weird happens or I need to make another trip, then I will. I'll probably be at that game on the 1st. And
We're going
I
to
did
get
want to. Oh, I did want to throw out there that the High School Athletic Association, in case people are unaware, have extended the high school football season, and several other like soccer and volleyball have extended the regular season a
Really?
week because of just to help out our friends in the West. Some
Sure.
of those high schools are still not in school yet, and those folks were patient when we went through Florence and had our season kind of drawn back. And I remember we went 3 weeks or almost a month not
Yep.
playing any sports
Yep.
because of all the devastation of the hurricane. So it's our turn to kind of be patient and help our friends in the West. And I think all the coaches and parents and players understand that because we were in the same boat. So so once the season for us gets started on the 1st, there'll be another week of not really doing anything. So those Western teams can kind of fill out their schedule a little bit, and then the following week we'll be able to start the playoffs. So
All right, sounds good.
that will be a little bit of an interesting week, but I'm sure the coaches and players will like the rest.
Okay, sounds good. Chris, thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you brought that up because I did want to ask you about that and I forgot.
Yeah, no pleasure. My pleasure. I will talk to you guys next week.
All right, thank you,
Thanks,
Chris. Have a
Chris.
good one. Be safe. Chris Miller, Jacksonville
I wondered
sports
about
editor.
that.
Yeah.
How can you have a state championship
You
when you've
can't.
got schools in the western part of the
Still
state?
haven't finished playing.
Right.
So, all right, what you got going there? I'm gonna try to make a telephone call.
Oh, okay. Yesterday, I had one of our listeners send me a video that was off of Facebook where this gentleman is saying that the second gentleman of the United States, Doug Emhoff, was a huge stockholder in Albemarle Global,
really?
which is a company that does the mining Black Mountain and Chimney Rock. And there's all this speculation that he's going to make all these millions of dollars off of the tragedy that happened over there. And they asked me, is this true? So I researched every legitimate media source. I researched
So the bottom
fact
line
check. There's nothing there.
Okay.
Somebody started this on TikTok and then it went to Facebook and it's spreading like wildfire. So
The reason I don't rely on those guys.
I know it's just crazy.
I
stories.
think I may have a guy who's down there in Florida right now. Royal, is that you?
This is me.
Hey, Royal.
Well, hey,
Hey,
For full discretion here, full disclosure, Royal is a first cousin of mine, and he and I have been talking all week long about getting out of Dodge. And Royal, you left Tampa.
I left Tampa and went to Brandon, which is about 15 miles east.
Okay, good. How'd you fare last night?
We've had fine. We lost power about 11 o'clock,
Uh-huh.
but luckily where we're staying, she has a generator. It kicks on in about 15 seconds automatically.
I got one of those too.
Oh, excellent.
And we didn't have air conditioner, but actually I got cold during the night.
Oh,
Yeah. It happens when we get a little older there, Royal. I'm right there with you. I wrapped up with the blanket last night in here when it get down to about 65 degrees outside. Okay, you live in Tampa. You've been there for pretty much all your life.
Not yet.
Well, so far.
I've been here 61 years, I think it is.
61. Okay,
Wow.
well, cool. Anyway, you've been through storms, but
Yeah.
there's West Coast during your entire time there. Like,
The last one was in 1921.
wow, that was before you were born.
Here.
October 25th.
Yeah, that was definitely before you were born. So anyway, Royal, what are your concerns now? I know you've got to get back, and I know you're
Well, I can't
anxious.
right now. The where I'm staying, big sycamore tree in the front broke off at about 100 feet up,
Wow,
and we got about 50 feet of it right in the middle of the street.
wow.
So it's
Oh,
impassable.
goodness.
So somebody comes along with a chainsaw, and a neighbor 2 doors down across the street, a big sycamore tree blew over in his yard onto his roof. But apparently the limbs on the kept it from doing any damage.
Did I lose you? You still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
I said the limbs on the downside of that sycamore tree kept it from doing any damage at all to it.
Oh, good. So
Wow.
it kind of kept it off. That's good. Excellent. Yeah. So you haven't been out any further than just right there, I take it, I hope.
No, the next door neighbor has the stockade fencing. It's all on both sides of this house where I'm staying. Their stockade fences are down.
Okay.
And 2 doors down has the white vinyl fence, and it's part of it's in the street, and the rest of it's leaning at about a 45-degree angle to
Yeah.
the left.
Have you heard from any of your neighbors there in Tampa?
No, we got a call last night that said that our lake, which we're 8 feet from the lake at the community,
Yeah.
had reached the seawall.
Oh,
But I'm not worried about that because we've still got 5 to 6 feet before it gets to the bottom of our trailer.
okay. So you're up on a little bit of a rise there at your house, right?
Yes, quite a bit.
That's good. That's excellent. I was watching as best I could last night. Of course, after dark is when the thing made landfall. They seem to do that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell about anything until the next day. So I'm sure we're going to the pictures this morning. And
Well, I stayed up to 2 o'clock watching the news.
Yeah.
We had
It's right there with you.
generator power.
yeah,
And it was pretty devastating in a lot of places here.
Yeah, some guy, I'm trying to remember exactly where he was on the Palm Coast last night. I was talking to a gentleman about, I guess it was midnight or 1 o'clock on ham radio. And I was listening to him, and the noise in the background, he said he was in his garage with his radio, and the wind and the rain were hitting the garage door, the metal garage door, and the building, his garage, which was mostly metal. I tell you what, it sounded like he was in the middle of a war zone.
I'm sure it is.
So,
Well, we were sitting up playing cards till about 1 o'clock.
you still
but,
do that?
Yeah, there's 4 of us, my wife and I, and this other lady and her daughter. The lady is 98, and she's spry as can be and smart as a whip. So we played canasta till 1 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Well, that kept your mind off of it. I'm glad you still
But
had
we
power.
we could hear the wind howling constantly.
Oh boy. Any idea how high the winds got where you were?
They said that the highest gust in Tampa was, I believe, 93.
Okay. All right.
Now,
Yeah,
St. Petersburg got 103, 101 several, but their wind gusts.
right.
I don't know what the steady winds were.
Yeah, I had one of the reports of one of the gentlemen checking in last night on the network here. He was in Sarasota, and his topped 100 at that time, and that's before it made landfall. And
Yeah,
then,
that's where we got lucky. It skipped us. In
yes,
fact, one of the reporters on local TV last night said at Davis Island, which is the big island down in downtown Tampa, he said the bridge, he looked at that earlier last night, and the bay there was nothing but mud flats. All the water had gone.
it
But
sucked
we
it
got
out.
the opposite side. It sucked it all out.
Yeah, yeah.
And there were 2 shocks of the Hillsborough River, which gets flooded, but it was flowing fast out.
Yeah. I've seen that before, and you talked about that. You told me about that earlier this week, that sometimes it just pulls all the water out of the bay, and you can walk out there where boats were
Well, I
normally
don't
floating.
think you could walk. It's pretty muddy.
Yeah, I'm sure, but as far as being no water in there. Wow. Okay. Well, do they have any clams out there in those shallows? I'm just kidding.
I don't think so. I'd be afraid to eat them
Goodness.
because the smell when the tide is low is pretty bad.
Oh, all right. Gotcha. Well, you just cured me. I don't want to go get them either.
Mm.
All right. Well, Royal, you guys stay safe. You're going to be there for a couple of days at least, I hope.
Well, as soon as this street gets cleared, I want to go home and check about my cat. We only left her about 2 days worth of food.
Oh, okay. Well, that should be fine.
Cats
Cats
are
are
resilient. Very.
Yeah. We call them domestic. But, we are the domesticated ones. They've got us under
You
control.
don't own a cat. You don't own a cat. They own you.
There you go. All right.
And by the way, your sister had already called me this morning.
It does not surprise me. You see.
Well, we're glad you're doing good.
All right, Royal, you take care, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Chat with you later.
All right.
Bye bye.
But
One
of
more
our
off of my mind.
Favorite, yes, I'm so
So-
glad he's safe. I'm so glad he took your advice and left his house
Yeah,
and
he
went further inland.
in the eye of it, he's got a double wide there and a retirement village, and
Mhm.
one of those gated retirement villages. Nice places down there, but they're close to the water.
Yes.
And, I had some concerns for him.
Yes.
He got
Well, I'm
smart.
glad
He
he's
got
well.
smart, and he said, "See ya. Won't want to be ya." And he found him a house with a generator.
Yes.
See how important those things are, my dear.
Yeah, I know.
I got one right back here.
You gonna buy me one?
15 seconds is all it takes. 15 seconds, and you're back on.
I almost did it this summer. I
Mhm.
almost did, but I had so many other things, like projects I had to
Yeah.
get done that were a little bit more important.
Yeah,
So.
well, you folks around here, y'all know that one of our sponsors here, John Stars Electric, they put
Yes.
this thing in a year ago,
Yes.
and it's been a repelling device for all hurricanes because the power has not dropped at this house since.
Well, it repelled us to go ahead and put our bid in. If we do have a hurricane, we're moving in.
Yeah, I know. I think I've got 73 guests lined up for
We were first. Kelly and I were
bed
first.
and breakfast or whatever kind of accommodations. Our favorite young lady here,
Yes, our
Salem.
favorite.
Hi, good morning.
Salem Clark. Been a while
Yes.
since I've seen you.
Yes.
It's
Coming
been
here
about a
dressed all
month.
in orange.
She's so cute.
Is that called burnt orange? Is that what it's called?
It's like between an orange and a red.
It's
I
a
think.
fall
I
color.
don't know.
It's a
Fall-
fall color.
A pumpkin
I
red.
came prepared for fall.
Yeah, she did. She's just as cute as can be
There you
anyway.
go.
So
And what you do with a doggy that was all over you?
I
Put him
did
away.
Shockwave went in to visit the rest of the
There
time.
you go.
So
He'll be trying to
He
come
just
back in a
loves
little while.
her, but
oh
he was-
my God, yes.
he kept pawing at her. So
You should have seen him when as soon as he saw you in the glass there,
right.
he was all over that.
It's Drew calling.
Oh, Drew.
Drew.
Martin's why we'll take a real quick call here, if you don't mind. This is also from down there in Miami way.
Mm.
And the conditions are probably still kind of on the sloppy side down there, but not like they have been in the
See.
past, right, Drew?
The conditions down here are back to total normal. There's virtually no wind
Wonderful.
outside.
We got very little rain last night. I mean, on a normal thunderstorm, it'll fill my front yard with little branches from the oak trees out front. There's no branches down at all. We got nothing.
Okay, I'll be down at about 6 hours or so when I can get a flight, and I'm ready to go diving. Can you get me a boat?
I don't have a boat.
Well, I know, but can you get one?
I would suspect it's still pretty choppy down here.
Oh, well, then I won't go. I'll wait till next time. Drew, down Miami way. So you guys are sitting back waiting just in case. I'm sure you had some concerns, but all indications were it was going to do exactly what it did. So you were spared.
They told us we were going to get tropical storm winds, and we might have gotten a few gusts that reached 40 miles an hour, but sustained winds was like 23, 25 miles an hour total.
Okay, well, that's good. Good for you.
Yep.
Y'all have had your share of them. I sure brought back some memories though, back in the 1990s, right?
Oh yeah, Andrew was a trip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we let's tell you how city government works. They built a new dock down here just before Andrew hit, and they used the wood in the center. Is some ironwood out of Brazil that sinks.
Mm.
Well, they didn't have time to get it all picked up and put in the warehouse, so they threw it in the water.
Oh.
So then when the hurricane was gone, then they had to get it up.
Oh.
So they got the fire department dive team, and we worked down there for about a week recovering these stupid pallets till it finally dawned on them that they could hire private salvage at about half the price of what firemen were costing them.
Yeah.
So they replaced us. But, just the idea of throwing these things, I mean, because each one of these pallets costs a small fortune
I'm sure.
to throw them in the water. And I don't think they ever recovered all of them. It's just, but now we skated on this one. We've had much worse on just little tropical storms going through.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad. I hope. Well, the bad thing is we still got another 5 weeks or so before the season is over with. But we're kind of over the peak of it. Middle of October is going to be about it.
The peak, and for some reason, the ones coming in the Atlantic this year seem to be turning north up the center. I mean, the only things we've gotten even close to coming near here came out of the Gulf.
Yeah,
which is totally different from the normal.
Yeah, those out of the Atlantic, those are really sloppy ones. They got Leslie out there, which is, it's going to do nothing. It's getting ready to turn today or tomorrow and head back out to sea. It's afraid of all the stuff that's here. So I guess, you guys there have scared it off. So it's going to go back over towards probably Spain or whatever. And then they got about 3 million people without power. Yeah, that's what I saw
from this one. And the problem with it is it went straight up the I-4 corridor, right over Disney World and stuff. And we visit Disney World often with the grandchildren, and it's not made for hurricanes.
Nope.
I think but you'll never hear about their damage because Disney keeps that a big secret.
Yep.
But they closed the campground Wednesday morning at 11, and they say it probably will not be open until next week sometime.
Yeah, at least. Well, I know you're going to hear about the damage at Disney World. You know how you're going to hear about it? When you go to buy your
go and see it.
When you go buy, when you go get your next ticket, the prices are going to be higher.
The most damage I ever saw at Disney World was one of those years that we had a free cold front that it froze all the way to Miami, and they got hard freeze in Orlando, and we went up right after that.
Oh boy!
And you can't believe the plant damage. I mean, like outside the Polynesian, they got these beautiful palm trees and whatever. They were just destroyed. They had to replace them all. It was just destroyed. They're not set up for it. They're just not set up for that kind of weather. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. Just got a text message from a friend in St. Pete that stayed home through the hurricane, but he's not. And he says that there's no power and no water where he is.
Yeah.
But everybody's okay, and so that's the main thing. You can fix the rest of it.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what kind of other damage there was. I'm concerned too about the citrus crop there, the oranges. This is kind of like, approaching a big season coming up.
Well, this is just about when they start picking them off. Now, what they did have here yesterday was before the hurricane even hit the shore, is they had a rash of tornadoes.
Yes, I saw.
And the news has come down here that there were a lot of fatalities because of the tornadoes. We had none that I know of in Dade County, but Broward County, which is kind of like, if you live in Raleigh, it's kind of like Cary. It's that close to us. They showed a couple on the news that were massive.
I saw those live yesterday, and I'm like, holy moly, those are some big storms. That looks like some of that stuff from the Midwest.
So, but see you guys in about 2 weeks.
Hope for the best.
All right.
Yes, and
Look forward to it.
we got seats saved for you.
Do what?
We got seats saved for you in the stadium.
Oh, okay. I haven't been there a long time.
Yeah, I know. I remember the last time. It's been a while. All right, Drew, take care.
Take care.
All right, you
Bye.
too.
All right.
Jacksonville High graduate as well, and down there in Miami, a retired firefighter. Got a couple of sons fighting for the fire department as well. Salem, sports talk. What's going on?
Well, we've geared up for our fall activities.
I was just looking at them.
Yeah, there are tons of events. I keep getting more people asking me to add their events for this fall.
Nice.
On.
Nice.
I remember a few
nice.
years ago, after a couple of storms, a lot of events went away.
Yes.
Now they're coming back. That's good.
Yeah, pretty much every weekend you have a choice of 4 or 5 events that you can go to.
Isn't that pretty cool?
And this weekend is the Mullet Festival.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Now, the mullets that they're going to be serving there are not the kinds of mullets that you think about. There are a couple of different
fish.
kinds.
I've fished for mullet before.
Yeah, there's the sea mullet, which is also
Right.
known as whiting.
Yes.
They're delicious. Don't thumb your nose up at that. I'm going to go get one, make you eat,
I like
force feed you.
Ocean mullets. Those
But the sea mullets
I know, but
sea mullets are in the ocean.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I love October for fishing for mullets.
Oh. And then the big old hardhead mullets, they're good if you put a lot of barbecue sauce on them and put them on the grill. My grandmother used to fry them, and they were good. If you catch them, you get them fresh. Oh, she'd gut those suckers and fry them in a heartbeat, and they were good. You fry anything right, Southern way, and they're good. Cornmeal,
Yeah, yeah.
not flour, cornmeal.
That's right, cornmeal. It's a little bit of
Now, Mullet Festival, you guys are involved, though it's a city function there in the Swansboro area.
Yes.
So they got a big one planned, big one coming on.
It's their 70th
Yeah,
wow
anniversary.
yes.
they got fireworks this year. I forgot
Ooh, you know what? I should have
because
looked at
there was
their-
some, the
Let
4th
me
of
look and
July.
see if I
At
can
one time, they were
remember.
going to postpone it and have the fireworks for I don't know. Maybe that was last year.
I'll have to look and see.
Things change from year to year. We'll try to get some more information by tomorrow.
Yes.
So we got the Mullet Festival this weekend.
Yes, that's always fun.
Did
Downtown
they have a
Swansboro.
race or anything with that? I can't remember.
So, Sports Commission did do a mullet run this past weekend.
Okay, got
Right.
it. Got it.
Yeah, so
I
it was
thought I
kinda-
remember reading about
Yeah,
it.
so opening up. So I was out volunteering for that event, and
You
it
weren't
was no, I helped with registration, but I did watch a lot of people come by with the mullet hairstyles,
Really?
whether real or fake.
Oh, okay.
You need to get a fake mullet and wear it.
I just get the fish and wear it. What's the difference?
Get a fish hat.
There
that's
was-
true.
There was someone that had a mullet fish
Yes.
on, not a real one.
Oh, why not?
That might smell a little bit towards
No,
the
they
end.
smell good. It's all right.
But yeah, and then also this weekend is the ranch rodeo out at Lazy H.
Okay.
So that's Friday and
Ranch
Saturday.
rodeo.
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that, and I
I've seen
passed by.
advertising for that. What's it about?
So they basically they have people who do the barrel racing. They do different
Oh, okay.
techniques and tricks out there. Yeah, it's a lot of fun if you've never been
I've
before.
never been there. I've seen some good stuff like that. They're kind of like rodeos and
Mhm.
some of the stuff that happens. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then, goodness, also Onslow County Parks and Rec is having their Hispanic Heritage Celebration this weekend
Nice.
too.
Nice.
So those are some of the 3 kind of big events that are happening.
There'd be some good food out there.
Oh, you know.
Ooh.
I go for the, some of us have our priorities. We go for the food.
I go for food.
Well, food is a big part of it.
Yeah, I live for food.
Yes. Yes.
Then Onslow Memorial Hospital is having their Miles from Mammo's 5K run. That's October 19th.
Mhm.
Okay.
There's so much. We just really encourage everyone
is
to
a
go
lot.
to our website, onlyinonslow.com.
I've got it.
Like I
posted.
said, there's probably 30 events that are coming up throughout this month. So some are continuous, such as like Mike's Farm
Sure.
or Hog Wild or Fright Nights out at Fish Strong.
Hog Wild.
Mhm.
Fight nights? Oh, Fright nights.
Mhm.
That's right. It's Halloween.
It is.
It's Halloween month. Fright nights.
Mhm.
So you got
Yes.
stuff for little kids that you can enjoy, or things for people who like it on a little more scary.
Do you ever do anything special for Halloween yourself? Is that a scary time for you?
I don't do any scary hair rides or anything like that.
you don't?
Not personally.
I don't want somebody jumping out at me either,
No.
because I'd be liable to turn around and swing without thinking.
Our work does a Halloween party,
Oh,
so
okay.
we get together and just
Yeah.
a bunch of the
Yes.
different
You do
tenants
the
get
fun
together.
stuff, right?
Yes,
Okay. People dress up crazy.
some do.
Mhm.
So do a costume.
What's the craziest
contest.
you've done dressed up as?
I
Let's
think.
go back way back.
Way back.
All the craziest you ever done, the wildest thing.
Oh gosh. Probably the silliest thing I've ever done is I dressed up as a witch one year, and we decided to put flour in my hair to make it look more white. That was a terrible decision
Oh,
when
my
it came
That's a
time to
lot
take a
of
shower.
washing.
Flour and water.
Yeah, I didn't think about that one. Didn't think that one through.
That's what you.
That was a memorable Halloween.
That could
Let
become
us break
cornbread.
bread. Yes. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. That trying to. Oh yeah.
My hair was just as long, almost down to my waist.
It was like
And
my brother and I decided to put butter in our hair and slick it down because we were watching the Three Stooges, and they'd get a tub of butter and slick their hair down. So we decided to do that, and it took weeks to wash it out.
Yeah.
I can understand.
You didn't think that through at all, did you?
We were much younger.
You were watching the Three Stooges.
That's what they did on the Three Stooges to slick their hair
and you
down.
think that was really butter.
Well,
It was Hollywood props.
well, of course it was, but we didn't know that
No.
as kids. We got the butter out, and a whole tub of butter later, we were just
I'm glad I never did any crazy
slick
stuff
hair.
that I can talk about. Okay. Not that you're looking to take advantage of it, but are you preparing possibly because of all of the destruction for one of our major tourist areas in this state, the western part of the state? Obviously, a lot of folks who go to those places, they're still going to go somewhere.
Yes.
Are you prepared? Is Onslow County prepared for something like that happening?
Well, we already have quite a few people in our hotels right now just because of a military event that's going on now. But we have been staying in contact with all of the other tourism offices. We've been doing weekly meetings where we've been hearing updates from our tourism partners in Western North Carolina.
Okay.
So for those who are looking to travel out there, highly encourage you to go to visitnc.com. At the top, they have a travel advisory, and they actually are showing which counties are not open for
Mhm.
travel right now. And that's more because of roads washed out.
Mhm.
So there's 13 counties right now that are not open
Wow.
for travel at the moment. There's 5 that are in the yellow. So it's more cautionary.
Yeah.
Some things are open, but it's still a little bit hesitant. And then it shows all the ones that are in green that are open for travel.
Wow.
Wonder how the winter season's going to be for the ski areas.
That is going to be interesting because some of the main ones are still in that red territory right now. They're still assessing. They're still kind of in search and rescue right now. So a lot of
Yep.
them a lot of the tourism directors are taking on different jobs right now
Wow.
in the sense of trying to help
Wow.
cover other duties. Other tourism offices from across the state have stepped up with donations. Some that are kind of outside the area are housing, emergency personnel or linemen and everything, or
Sure.
people who've had to evacuate out. So they've been offering discounts or different things for people too, and serving as hubs into Western North Carolina. So we do have some that are open up, and they are saying they're still open. So, but we are seeing people who are probably going to shift a little bit. The state has worked really hard to contact Airbnb and Expedia so that visitors who are coming in know what is open and what isn't open, because they don't want people booking if there's something not open, but they also don't want to just say everything is shut down
Right.
too. So the state is really staying on top of everything with the roads and everything else too. But we probably will see a little bit of influx in. Probably with the fall leaves, people will just move a little bit inland, a
Yeah.
little bit more than anything
Yeah,
else.
towards the Piedmont.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we don't offer a whole lot of fall color changes here.
No, we
Yes.
have beautiful sunsets and sunrises,
do.
and we
On
get
the beach.
those.
On the beach, we got some beautiful stuff. So
What was
Yes.
that? October sky, sailor's delight. Well, how does that go? Yeah.
red sky in the morning, sailor take warning.
No,
Red sky night,
sailor's
sailor's
delight.
delight.
There it is. See, you go out there and watch the sun go down at night. It's beautiful.
Maybe you'll see a sailboat go by.
Maybe I'll catch a mullet.
Where did you get October at? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
It's October, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She was talking about how beautiful the sunsets are. They're beautiful in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are.
Absolutely stunning.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely a little cooler too. So we
Yes.
always encourage.
You-
This
you-
is a good season
Have
to
you
come.
seen the sunset over the ocean here?
Not recently. I haven't been to the ocean. I've been to the house and back.
Where
and
does the
that's
sun
about it.
set? What part of the globe is it set in? You know, east, west?
Over there.
You can actually see the sunset over the ocean if you go far enough south in North
South.
Carolina,
Mhm.
down below Cape Fear area.
Well, I'm
You
just
can watch
talking
it
about
come. You can watch it come up in the east and it sets in the west.
watching the sunset, the whole turning from light to dark. It's beautiful out there.
You can watch it over the intercoastal
There
waterway.
you go.
The sunset.
Salem knows what I mean. She's got it. Yeah, I
She's
just
got your
went to
back.
this. Yeah, she does. I just went to this travel advisory off that
Mhm.
page that you recommended, and that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
See, I didn't even know there was such a thing. Of course, I've logged that on all our social media here, but oh yes, Rayford, look, see how red it is all over here.
Yeah.
These are all travel
Mhm.
advisories for those kids. Gee, I was right there a couple weeks ago.
Mhm.
Trying to get
Yeah.
back.
So you'll kind of see, and as they kind of open, they'll
Yes.
change the colors of each of them
Right.
too. So it's not a lot of information. It's just more of like where you can go
Yes.
to learn more
Yes, you
information.
click on it, it'll say closed to visitors, and then it has a website that you can click on. And this is great too, because during seasons where we don't have all this, you can learn so much about these places.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they'll be constantly updating this so you can see kind of when it is safe to travel
Right.
to certain places too. Yeah, I actually had someone call me the other day asking how to travel across. They were trying to go across states, so they were asking me
Wow.
what's the best route.
Trying to go to another state.
Go to another state,
Yeah,
so they
go-
didn't
go-
know which
Go
way.
south and then go
Yeah.
that way, or go north and
Take
go
a
that
break.
way.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
Trying to do I-40 through North Carolina is a challenge right now.
yeah, since it's closed. Yeah.
Well, you're talking to a lot of the other tourism offices, and the western part of the state's pretty much closed right now. But
Mhm.
have y'all talked about maybe helping each other? Maybe them sending visitors our way?
They are encouraging people not to travel, so they are encouraging people to kind of go to the other counties that are in the green.
Okay.
Yes.
Because right now, the hard thing is they're having to balance because some businesses are open, but the roadways are just not safe. It's just not a good time to come into those counties right now.
They're still trying to make a lot of repairs and a lot of one
Mhm.
lane at a time travel, which is, that just backs traffic up when you got a lot of folks there even more.
Yeah.
And then,
Well, and
then the detours.
well, detours and then limited resources
Uh-huh.
too is one of the main things. Also, is there's not a lot of food or gas in the stores too.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
trying to find gasoline is probably an issue.
Yes.
Wow. Anyway,
This is
we'll be
very
back to normal one day.
Yes.
Across the entire state. We've so far dodged the bullet this year in Onslow County, Eastern North Carolina. So we've done fairly well. We had a couple of brushes, but nothing overly significant. But we'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, now through the rest of the year after October, we get into November and December. What are some of the big things happening?
So that gets into Christmas activities.
Mhm.
And of
Yes.
course, as we know, Mike's Farm's big Festival of Lights. We also have ELJ's Christmas Town. Pogies at the Farm is now doing a walking Christmas trail
Mhm.
in addition. And then, of course, we have our typical flotilla events that are always a lot of fun.
Yep.
And so all those events most of those signature ones are already on our website too. But we highly encourage you to go check those out. It's also a big season for us.
Yeah, for you guys with boats, if you want to,
Mhm.
it doesn't cost you anything to enter the Jacksonville Flotilla. And that's the first Saturday in December.
Yes.
Sponsored by the Jacksonville Breakfast Rotary Club. I
Mhm.
assume it still is. So it's a great event to participate in. You don't have to have a 40-foot boat. You can do it. And I've seen small boats, 15-foot boats, small boats. It's all rubber boat one year entered. But all you got to do is get in and decorate. All those little LED lights, you don't even have to have a big old generator to run them because you can run them off of batteries, decent
Mhm.
batteries in your boat. So you don't have to worry about as much as you used to. Just light that sucker up and get out and have fun.
Yes.
And you can have a blast.
That's
And there's always good
nice.
food afterwards for the participants in the flotilla.
Mhm.
So that's one of the attractions, and there are some prizes that are offered as well.
Mhm.
So,
Each of them offer prizes.
and for you folks, I'll tell you what, having been in that thing many times, there's nothing like going under the old bridge, which is the new bridge, but it's the old Bridge Street Bridge. Let's put it that way. Nothing like going underneath that because it's closed to vehicular traffic. That means no cars can go there, but all the people can go out there and stand on it and watch the boats come through. And there's nothing like going through there and having all those kids overhead shouting down at you and just hollering Merry Christmas. That in itself is worth the trip. So
Mhm.
boaters, get your mess together and get out there.
Yeah.
Coming up.
Yeah, and then also I Veterans Day weekend, the 2 weekends
Yes.
right around there. Highly encourage you to go to visit jacksonvillenc.com, their tourism website. They have a lot of those events
Mhm.
listed. So of course you got the Veterans Parade, you have the
It's November
Onslow,
9th this year, I think.
and then the Onslow Veterans Powwow.
Yes.
Is definitely a great event to go to,
Yes.
and then their Red, White, and Salute event.
Let's talk about the powwow.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit about it.
So this is their third year since that event. I realized it's not on my calendar of events.
Yeah, we'll have to get Raquel on
but
here to
Raquel-
talk
We'll
about
get
it.
some.
But they've
Yes.
been doing, they've been going to some of the other events and doing some of the dances,
Oh, yeah.
showcasing. But there's always really great food, vendors, the dancing. They always have if they do it again this year, they have a TP on display.
Mhm.
They're constantly growing it. And it's always getting bigger and better each year.
Yeah. I've been to those
Beautiful.
in the past here and other
Yes.
places, so they're fun.
Mhm.
Lots of fun.
I always say get there early if you want to get food.
Yes.
Their traditional food. I seem to come a little too late
And
each
there's
year, and it is
long lines.
sold
Oh,
out
yes. That's,
almost every year.
yes, they
Mhm.
have all sorts of stuff here. They Operation Green Light. We do
Mhm.
that in the studio every November where we have a green light
Yep.
on a green candle up here in honor of the veterans. And I have them for my porch. And Veterans Tribute, of course, Veterans Day weekend, etc. Yeah, Autumn Leaves and Pumpkin Please, a season of simple joys. Veterans Walk of Honor submissions, which is important, and Operation Greenlight. So,
Mhm.
yeah, Jacksonville's got, I put all that on our website
Good.
here. So,
Y'all can go to
Yes.
our Facebook page and check it out.
and our YouTube, and it's all on there. I've got everything but Salem's picture.
Why don't you have Salem's picture?
If I could add it to the comments, I would.
Can't you?
No, it doesn't allow you to attach a picture in the comments. It's probably a good thing. Some of our listeners, tell them what they'd be sending us. All good things.
Yes.
I bet you we can figure out a way to do it.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, a lot of good things.
I know
Don't
you
you
got,
know?
you don't ever stop, so next year's already, you're working towards it. I know you work
Yes.
year round, but when does our season kind of kick off next year as far as you're concerned?
Well, we promote a lot of things in the spring. That's actually when we host a lot of writers or we go to a lot of promotional
Right.
things. So spring is really busy. Spring's going to be really busy for us because a lot of our fall writers we had to push to the spring just because of the timing of the storm was right in between some of our trips. So I'll be hosting quite a few people
Oh, good.
in the spring. We are hosting a fishing writer who was supposed to be here last week.
Really?
So he'll come in the
Is he
spring now.
from anybody I know?
He is from Mobile, Alabama.
Mm,
I think I just saw a picture of him and then somehow I lost it.
I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll be doing all kinds of fishing, which is more fishing I've ever done. I'm not a fishing person. I love it. I love promoting it. But I wouldn't know the first thing if you put me on a fishing boat.
We gotta take you fishing.
Yeah,
and
we
then
need to
gotta
take her.
teach you how to clean a fish and how to cook a fish.
I think I saw that when I was a kid and it grossed me out and I was just like,
We just let her catch
sure.
him. We'll let you clean them.
Well, I'll actually eat fish now. I was so picky when I was younger. I would not eat
Really?
fish. Mm-mm. It wasn't
Oh.
until recently that
Ooh,
now I eat a lot of seafood.
well, that's even better.
Mhm.
Living here,
Yeah.
you kind of have to.
Yeah.
You
Well,
better.
growing up in East Texas, we didn't eat a lot of seafood. Too
They're on the
much.
coast of Texas?
No, we were East Texas, so inland. So between
Oh, yeah.
Houston and Dallas.
Oh, gotcha. All right.
hmm
They don't have fish there.
We ate a lot of barbecue and
I'm sure.
yes.
Steak
and potatoes.
Mexican.
You had
Yes.
burned
Texas.
meat, didn't you? Basically.
Mhm.
The
Yeah, that's what-
Mexican in Texas is
Yeah.
so different than the
Tex-Mex.
Mexican here. I like Texas better.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, we
Yeah.
call it Tex-Mex.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was really good.
Yeah, much better.
Salem, thank you.
Thank you so
you.
much.
I'm
Thank
glad
you
you're
for
always
catching
busy
us up.
And
Yes.
stay in touch with us.
I definitely
Yes.
will.
Yes,
We'll
we
stay in touch with you.
appreciate it.
Salem,
you.
Salem Clark,
Have a
thank
great
you.
weekend.
Thank you so
Oslo Tourism.
much.
Okie dokie.
Well, I was just curious as to how tourism was going to go this
Yeah,
year with
I
the
am
western
too.
part of the state. And she answered questions, and I've got it all on our web pages here. So
Not, I'm glad. I'm glad that some of the other counties, including Oslo, is able to reach out and for folks who want to go to an area like North Carolina, and even though they were planning to come to the western part of the state and do whatever, they still have a place to go.
yes,
Oslo's got room. Other counties have got places, so that's always a good thing.
yeah.
glad-
If you
glad
just
we have those
visit that Only
opportunities.
in Onslow website that I just put in the comments,
Mhm.
there's so much information there. So
Yeah.
many things that you can do at upcoming events. And,
Yeah.
oh, I just saw
Yeah,
one,
we-
910 Coffee.
That's one of the things we'll try to keep you up to speed on. The Marine
Yes.
Forecast brought to you by Community Prevention Services of Jacksonville. You've no doubt seen the colorful, the well-lit stores featuring all those vaping products around here. Maybe you aren't aware of it, but you should know that North Carolina is number 2 in the nation. We're number 2 out of 50 states. We're number 2 for teenage vape use. Parents and caregivers, if you want to learn more about vaping, the inherent dangers for teenagers who vape, and how to help keep teens from partaking in this stuff, there is some help out here. Contact Community Prevention Services at 910-353-0972. It's located in Jacksonville, locally owned and operated. That means you don't have to drive all over the state looking for help. Maybe you want to learn what all the hype's about. Maybe you just don't believe some of the people that are saying, this stuff is so bad. Well, why don't you ask? Find out from somebody who knows. Is vaping actually dangerous? Is it worse than cigarettes? Is it just a sneaky way for some people to smoke weed? How about some people to smoke cigarettes without looking like they're smoking cigarettes? Is your team telling you that there's nothing wrong with it? That it's safer than smoking? That the product is nothing more than steam? Well, if you don't know any better, maybe it's time that you got yourself educated. Community Prevention Services offers free information on all substance misuse prevention issues that are confronting youth and adults alike. Give them a call today at 910-353-0972. Community Prevention Services, 918 Henderson Drive in Jacksonville. Offshore today, it's going to be still sloppy out there for a day or two. Small craft advisory is in effect through late tomorrow night. Northeasterly winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30, seas 5 to 7 feet, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 15 to 20, gust up to 30, seas 5 to 7, 2 to 4 near shore, sounds and rivers choppy. Saturday, northwesterly winds 5 to 10, seas 2 to 4, sounds and rivers a light chop.
And today it'll be cloudy through mid-morning, then gradually clearing with a high near 70. Winds 5 to 13 miles per hour with gusts as high as 21. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 50. Friday, sunny with a high near 72. Friday night, football night, clear with a low around 46. And Saturday, sunny with a high near 76. Great time to get your yard work done and get it winterized.
Yeah, but now,
Won't be long.
before you just going to want to put it off till next spring.
Right.
We'll be right back.
I am Rod Knapp, the current Vice Chairman of the Onslow County Board of Commissioners. I would appreciate your vote on November 5th. I am known to speak my mind candidly, truthfully, and bluntly on issues that affect everyone within our county, regardless of political affiliation, religious beliefs, gender, race. I am not afraid to tackle tough issues like tax rate and appropriate funding for our EMS, firefighters, public safety, mental health, and domestic abuse issues. I fully support our county employees, and I feel this is a staff that is the glue that holds Onslow County together. I have shown strong and consistent leadership and will not be influenced by others, and I will vote my conscience always in the best interest of our citizens and not for a particular group, regardless of rhetoric. I love Onslow County and her citizens, and I appreciate your vote and support. May God bless America, Onslow County, and all of you. Vote to re-elect Robin Knapp for Commissioner, a voice for the citizens. Paid for by the committee to re-elect Robin Knapp.
And that all of the races, we come out for election. Early voting
Yeah.
starts,
October 17th.
and the final day, the last day, to register to vote for this election is the 11th. That would be tomorrow.
Right. I
Okay.
was thinking tomorrow was Saturday, and I was like, what?
No, tomorrow's
Yeah.
Friday.
I will put all the dates
Yep,
and
get it
times
on
and
there.
locations on our page for people, because I've had quite a few people text me and ask me when does early voting
Yeah,
start.
I know. We've had a lot of other stuff, news going on, not
Right.
just for us, but for the whole state, where everybody's eyes are on. We've been helping, and other folks
Right.
are helping collect products, and we're all concerned about our neighbors to our west. And now
Right.
we're
trying to-
concerned about neighbors to our south down there in
Right.
Florida. So this whole mess, the weather.
Well, shoot.
Just put it in the water.
I
Look,
was
it'll
trying
stop.
to,
The,
when
uh,
I muted it, but it
the-
still came up.
the storm. It's amazing how far those tentacles are.
Yes.
I mean, our water's out here all chopped up. We got some nasty looking weather out there. We had the wind blowing here this morning, running 8 or 10 mile per hour gusts here at the studio. Things like that it creates a lot of havoc. And this was a big storm, massive area, not just
was.
powerful storm, but such a big
You know,
footprint that it had.
what really surprised me, it was so powerful. I mean, it came in as a category 4. And we have yet to see the damage because, now light of day, I'm sure we'll be seeing it. But I really thought it would really be worse than what it was coming in. I don't know yet. We have to wait and see
you just
but-
didn't see it when it came in.
Right.
got a lot of deaths apparently in St. Lucie County. There were 17 tornadoes there yesterday. In Owen County.
Yes. One of them hit a senior retirement home
Mhm.
center.
So we're
Or not a center, but an area.
yeah. Look like normally the tornadoes that we see around here and along the East Coast area,
Right.
they're kind of short-lived. But some of those, and they're small, and some of those tornadoes, the pictures, I'm just looking at one right there. The images of them, they're huge.
Yes.
They look like the stuff out there in the
I mean,
Midwest, Oklahoma
They were
area.
thrown out warnings. One time I looked on the map, there were 7 at once. 7
Mhm.
tornadoes.
More than 3 million people in Florida. That's a lot of folks out there without power today.
It is.
They don't have power.
Yes.
And the power crews are back out on the streets now in the areas where the winds have died down. So they're doing that. The storm made landfall on a place called Siesta Key. It's kind of a multifaceted
Yes.
landfall. The way it hit at a sort of an angle. And then, of course, part of it went ashore here, part of it went ashore there. It's a massive storm. And Siesta Key, there near Sarasota, right in the Sarasota area. I lived in Sarasota, right near the beach. Lido Beach, beautiful,
Never been
beautiful
there.
place. A nice and sandy area, big tourist attraction. And that's south of Tampa.
I've been
about
to
50 miles
Zephyr
or so.
Hills, which is right in that area.
So it's now down to a Category 1 storm. Is about 85 mile per hour sustained winds. It's in the ocean, Atlantic Ocean, and moving away from land, going towards the east. And it will be not gaining any speed, not picking up any strength. It's just going to pick up forward motion, and it's going to be zipping along here. It came across Florida, came into Florida, running about 15 miles an hour overnight.
Yes.
From landfall until dawn. Before dawn this morning, it had crossed the entire width of Florida. So I mean, yes, it's a narrow state, but oh wow, what a mess.
Well, it's
So-
in the ocean now. Bye-bye.
Yeah, in the ocean. There's one other storm out there, a hurricane now. But it's going to be turning today or
Leslie,
tomorrow,
right.
and it will be going up and away. Now the other one way back out there, just off the coast of Africa, not worth talking about yet. That'd be something to talk about tomorrow. See what's going on with
Right,
it. If there's
yes.
anything, we will know nothing, of course. No, we'll know nothing about it, whether it's going to develop or not, because it takes a few days for us to get a sense of where it's going to go. We being the National Hurricane Center.
I'm sorry, but this has been a strange season.
It has been.
Really strange. I guess maybe there's truth in that the government are making these hurricanes.
No.
I can't believe that.
Come on. Those people,
Where does
y'all
some
need
of
to
this
quit
come
doing that
from?
because you're driving the price of tinfoil up. If you thought we were safe in this country from foreign terrorist attacks, I want you to think again.
Nope.
An Afghan citizen living in Oklahoma
Uh-oh.
has been arrested, charged with plotting a terror attack on Election Day on behalf of the Islamic State. That's according to the Justice Department. 27-year-old Nasir Ahmad Tawhidi obtained guns and ammo to conduct a violent attack on U.S. soil, as well as taking a number of steps to prepare for the plot. He entered the United States on September 9th, 2021. These folks don't do this overnight. They come in, they plan, they plot. For 3 years, he's been making plans. Special immigrant visa is how he got here. Currently on parole status pending adjudication of his immigration proceedings. How many more of these folks are on parole status awaiting us to decide whether they should be allowed to remain in this country? We don't know. We have no way of knowing. He's charged with conspiring and attempting to provide material support to ISIS and receiving a gun to be used to commit a felony or a federal crime of terrorism. He appeared in an Oklahoma federal court this week. The Department of Justice revealed that Tawhidi has already relocated his family to overseas locations. They came with him. He sent them out of the country, prying prior to the election, which is less than 4 weeks away.
Darn.
The DOJ says that he had obtained one or more AK-47 semi-automatic rifles along with ammo.
Wow. Wow.
How did he manage? How did he manage to get those guns? That's what I want to know.
Good question, but of course it's easy.
He's not here. He's here legally, but he can't buy guns. How did he get?
Well,
Yeah, we want to know. Where's
Yeah.
the other part of this story, DOJ? The untold part. And how many other people are involved? Maybe. Seldom. Have you ever heard of a terrorist plot that involved only one person?
no. No.
It is
not
well
yes.
documented that ISIS attacks usually involve multiple players, often in multiple locations simultaneously. Yesterday, we talked to our doctor, our concierge doctor, Dr. Rose. She told me what I had was a crud. I believe
Yeah,
it.
Rafer's got the crud.
Early voting might become the best and safest option this go round. Not to encourage it. I'm not promoting it,
I will be early voting.
but I will be. I have been doing it since 2022 or after 2022.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think early voting is probably the way to go this year. I'll tell you something. For anyone who doesn't understand how this works, that I know had posted on social media, okay, that if you leave one block vacant, in other words, like say the presidential race, if you don't mark anything at all as a preference, then the whole ballot gets thrown out. Okay, let me tell you, that's not true. If you chose not to vote for anybody in the presidential race, I'm using that as an example.
Or any other race.
Well, I'm just going to use the presidential right now. If you choose not to make any marks at all, vote anybody, then, but you go fill out the rest of your ballot's going to count. Just that section where you didn't vote will not count because you didn't vote.
Yeah.
Now, if you using the presidential race as an example, you've got probably 4 or 5 choices on there, but it's only pick one. If you pick 2, it's going to knock just that section out.
Yeah.
Your rest of your ballot is fine.
Yeah.
If you go in there and like for county commissioner is vote 4. If you vote 1, 2, 3, 4, you're fine. If you vote 5, it voids that one
That
section.
whole section's void.
So this is the way it's always been. No, they've not changed it. I know there's a lot of people that were confused about it, that were sharing a post on social media saying if you forget one section, like say you forget North Carolina Insurance Commission, you forgot to vote in that race.
Or you don't know anything about the judges.
Oh, you don't know anything about the judges and you skipped that, it's okay. So long as you did your other stuff. I mean, you could vote for one race. Out of the, it's
Absolutely.
2 pages. You could vote for one race. Your ballot's still going to count.
Right.
So,
If you're, and again, to reiterate, do not vote for more than the number
That's right.
that's shown there. When it says you may vote for 1, well, then
to
what?
vote one.
Only vote for 1.
And if you make a mistake while you're filling out your ballot, you can take it back to the desk and tell them that you made a mistake and you'd like a new ballot, and they will do the necessary things, to get you a new ballot. So
Can't do
I mean,
it
it's-
after you run it through the machine.
no, once you take it up to the machine and pop it in, it's done and over with. It's done and over with. So, yeah, I was surprised to see a lot of that surfacing and floating around there.
There's all sorts of things prior to an election. There's called scare tactics from one
Yes,
side or the other.
yes.
Or I heard it somewhere.
And talking about this video that you were talking about, Kamala, about the transgender surgery. I had several people text me, said they have seen the video, and I asked someone to send it to me because the only video that I've seen has been an excerpt out of a Trump ad.
Mhm.
So they sent me that Trump ad with that excerpt. So when I get a chance, I'll take a look at it. But there's so much. I don't know if you were aware, if you saw the news last night, but Biden got on and did a press conference. And I'm going to say this, probably get a lot of flack. It's amazing to me that he had so much to say about the pending hurricane in Florida, but yet I didn't see the same thing about the storm coming to North Carolina. Just saying. But he went on to talk about how the federal government is behind Florida and they're helping the governor and they're doing this and that, which I think is great, wonderful,
Yes, it
fine.
is.
But then he went on to say about the misinformation about these storms, which I agree there is a lot of misinformation being spread and spread by people that shouldn't be spreading it. But I also feel like that he took that as an opportunity to do campaign for Harris when he started bashing Trump and J.D. Vance and the Republican Party and accuse them, which some of it they're guilty of, and blame them for all the misinformation. I think he turned that news conference from caring and supporting our people in Florida into Trump is an idiot. Don't vote for him. Vote for Harris, because this is the first time I've ever heard President Biden say Kamala Harris so many times in one sentence. It's just, but it's politics. That's what
is.
we're looking at. So
It is.
It's crazy.
You know, I've accused the Democrats, and the Republicans are guilty.
yes, they
I've
are.
accused the Democrats of
Yeah.
every tragic situation, every devastating shooting, mass shooting, school shooting,
Right.
of politicizing it before you even know any facts. How many
Exactly.
times have I seen that?
Exactly.
We saw it during Obama years when there was a police-involved shooting. Remember the one that he blamed the police officer right up front?
It was in Minnesota.
I
Michael.
know. I think it was up in New Jersey. Anyway, New York, New Jersey, where he blamed the cop right up front before he had any information.
Right.
But he immediately blamed the cop, and he was, calling for police reform, calling for whatever. They do that.
Mhm.
They jump. They react without having facts.
We see that quite
And
often.
it happens from both parties. But Republicans Democrats are notorious for it, where there is a tragedy involved, where they can have a political agenda. Generally, not so much with a hurricane, because it's very difficult to blame a hurricane on the opposing party. Yeah, I mean, they can try. They can come out with climate change. And I'm sure that before this season is over with, there's going to be some folks who are going to be talking about, well, if we didn't have that warming of America, warming of the earth, global warming, if we didn't have that going on, all these things wouldn't be happening. What caused the ice age? The melting of the polar caps? Global warming?
No.
All those emissions from what? The dinosaurs? That's about the only place you could get emissions. What? No cars then during the ice age. Then what melted the polar ice caps? What sent all that ice and stuff down into the United States? What became the United States, creating the Grand Canyon? What created all that happen? How did it get here? The ice age.
Well, it was.
I don't get it.
People.
There's the climate change. There is a climate change.
Of
There's
course
always
there
been a
is.
climate change.
There's
There's
more
always
people-
going to be a climate change.
There's more people on this earth breathing than there was back those
Is
years
it
ago.
because of people? I don't know. Was it because of people when there were nothing but a few prehistoric men and mammoth beasts running around and dinosaurs?
Right.
Was it because of them then? I don't know.
Well,
Or was it because of slight changes in the Earth's tilt or whatever? I don't know.
True. True. I'm not a climatologist, but it's just like, and we're so much more populated now than we were all those years ago.
Yes.
So, and then, we're driving vehicles.
We have a
We've
bigger
got,
carbon footprint.
yes, we're doing all this stuff, which I'm sure adds to things.
No, I can help reduce that. Let's first of all, let's stop all commercial planes flying
That's right.
without a full load.
That's right.
And also, let's stop all of our Air Force training. Let's stop all of the other military training with tanks that put out smoke and stuff like that. Let's
Right.
stop. Air Force One, all of the trips that it makes everywhere.
Right.
Air Force Two, same thing. Let's stop all of that stuff from happening. We can reduce the carbon footprint by a bunch. How about all of the private jets where they got 2 people on board flying from here to wherever? How about all of the Galaxy 5s that the United States owns, the government
Taking
owns,
all the fun away.
taking 1 or 2 people at a time to go from here to some event somewhere? How about all the corporate jets that fly into St. Martin every weekend?
Do you know there's a small airstrip? Have you ever flown into there?
Yes.
It's a very small airstrip.
St. Martin?
Yes.
I know that.
I mean, it's like touch down and hit the brakes quick.
Yeah. You don't go in with a full load of gas.
No. I'm sorry. That just brought to mind when you said St. Martin and flying.
So, yeah, but you'll get there every weekend, beginning on Thursday. You will find corporate jets coming from all over the world flying into St. Martin just to have a long weekend, and they'll have 2 or 3, 4 people on board.
Well, who's paying for that?
They are, but
That's
look
right.
at the carbon footprint that is
Yeah,
created.
it's true.
Look at
but-
all of that. How about all is the waste? So should they, the wealthy, be able to put that much more carbon in our air? Should the president?
We
Should
could
Air
sit
Force
here
One? Whoever's on it?
we
Should
could
they
s-
be? Should they be able to go out and campaign using Air Force One and Air Force Two?
As
Should
long as they
be able to do it?
reimburse us.
Well, no. But
That's-
how about the carbon footprint that they've got?
Sure. Sure. We could debate this and we could talk
Right.
all
Okay.
day long on stuff that creates
All right, coming up tomorrow, we have no
Fine.
clue.
we have a possibility. We'll wait and see.
I don't want to wait.
I
I want to know
will
now.
know.
We're not going to leave the air till you tell me who's going to be here.
Mm,
Call them on the phone, find out for sure.
mm.
I'm just kidding. We got to go, guys, but we'll be back tomorrow, and
Yes.
we'll be back to relatively normal. We'll be talking Cardinals, of course,
Right.
the Jacksonville Cardinals. not
And you
those
have your
others.
JV games tonight, so go out and support your
Yes,
schools.
absolutely. Get cheer on the team that's coming up for
That's
next
right.
year for the Cardinals.
I've got the list for tomorrow night.
Okay. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow, all the ball games in the area. And we'll be talking about no doubt, the aftermath of Hurricane Milton.
Yes.
And
Now it's daylight. We'll see.
yeah, we'll be getting, unfortunately, the devastating news throughout the day.
Yes.
And the tragic news, the loss of life, there's apparently a lot. As much for sure in one county, St. Lucia, where they had
Tornado hit.
17
Yes.
tornadoes.
Oh, it was horrible. I watched it. I know Kelly's listening. She's going to say, you're ridiculous. But I watched it till 3 this morning. I couldn't help it. I just, weather fascinates me,
Yeah.
and I'm a weather geek. And it's like my sister and I were talking, even though it's not here, home, but still, we watch it.
Yeah, it's tragic. It's fascinating. I mean, I'm listening to guys over there firsthand reports as
Right.
it's happening.
Yes. Oh, I imagine.
Oh.
Did y'all have a meeting Tuesday night, the EOC, the
Yeah.
Ham Radio Club?
Yeah, the executive. Everybody went. It's a business meeting.
Were you there?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I stuck my head in the
Yeah,
door.
we
Said
had a
hey to
network,
Bob.
and I had other things to deal with. so
Right. Yes.
we had just a half dozen check-ins, I think, but that's okay. They were
Yeah.
there conducting business, and I'll find out
Yes.
this week sometime or another what it
Well,
is.
there you go.
Folks, have a great rest of your day,
Yes.
and be safe out there. And please, if you're going to the beaches, go there to look and take pictures. Do not get your
Do
butt
not
in the water.
swim.
Do not try to swim. We don't want to read about you and tomorrow, the next day,
It's too
whenever they
cold.
find your body. So if you get in that water, please leave some identification on the beach
Right.
so we'll know about it.
Or spray your cell phone number on your leg or something before you go in.
Yeah. All right. We'll,
That's terrible.
yeah, but I don't want you to get out there.
No, no.
And then we got to talk about you, and then not a good way.
Yep, let it go.
Rip currents are awful. They're going to be awful for the next couple of days, and the tides and the seas are going to be rough for the next couple of days. Boaters, stay ashore. You can stay inland near the beach, near the shore, not the beach, near shore, and do some red fishing and some speckled trout fishing. Let me know
Milton's
where
still
you catch them.
affecting. It's affecting our
Yeah,
coastline.
it is.
so.
It's going to be affecting us for a couple of
Yes.
days. You're live, you're local, you're Real Talk.
Real
right here
people.
on Facebook, Real People on Facebook and YouTube. Soon to be with our own internet radio station. We'll get up and running here shortly. Right?
Right.
Yep. That's a definitive right. Have a great rest of your day. Be safe.